Hello everyone and welcome back to TowerGate. It is TowerGate day number 746, Tuesday, April 9th, 2019. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a lot to get to today, including naming the winner of the Dumbass of the Week, which we will do at the end of the video. First, let's go ahead and get to the most important topics, and of course we're going to focus a lot today on the most recent article by John Solomon, more revelations about things regarding Ukraine and the crimes in Ukraine. Okay, well, as most of you have already heard by now, Trump has fired DHS Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen. And also, he has fired the head of the Secret Service. His name is Randolph Alles, A-L-L-E-S. Now, it appears that Trump had fired Kirstjen Nielsen because apparently he gave her some orders, things he wanted her to do, and she didn't get them done in a satisfactory way. So, he wasn't happy with, the directives he had given her to carry out, and he wasn't happy with the what she had done. So, that's how it goes. You make the boss mad, you don't get it done, you get fired. And quite honestly, the woman needs a break anyway. She's been pretty abused in that position. I kind of feel sorry for her in a lot of ways. And a lot of people in the Trump administration, the abuse they take, and she's certainly taken a lot of abuse, like Sarah Sanders. She's been, had situations where she's gone out to eat with her family. She's been harassed by social justice warriors. She went to that meeting to tell the Democrats to lay out the case for what was going on at the border, and they totally dissed her. I thought that was despicable. I mean, quite honestly, I don't think she's done a bad job, but, Trump's a hard driver, and, he pushes hard, and, he gives you some directives. He wants to see things happen, and if he doesn't, he moves you along. So I don't think there's any real bad blood there. It's just I think he probably thought it was time to get someone in there that may be a little more aggressive, or maybe can do a little bit better job of carrying out his directives in regards to the crisis that's happening on the southern border. So I have no problem with that. I think it's probably best for everybody in this case. And I wish her well. I really do. As far as the head of the Secret Service, of course, now I believe the Secret Service used to be under the Department of Treasury. Now I think they're actually under the Department of Homeland Security. So what this tells us is the two of the top officials at Department of Homeland Security have been removed, and that tells you that Trump's just trying to shake things up a little bit. As far as the specifics on the Secret Service, I don't know if it has anything to do with this most recent breach down in Florida at the Mar-a-Lago by this Chinese woman, and she supposedly had some high-tech gear that could pick up cameras and things and such. So she was definitely some high-level spy, or put into place by a high-level spy. She's not just some hack who, trying to, penetrate the systems at Trump's Mar-a-Lago. She was a more sophisticated type, person with some support behind her. This was definitely some sort of espionage. Where it's coming from, whether it's China, I don't know. It's really hard to say with the things in the underworld. But obviously, he weeded her out. Or they weeded her out. This may, in that breach of security, may have been the reason. Maybe it's something else. We just don't know. But anyway, both of them have been removed. Have been fired. And of course, we get Chief Spreading Bull Elizabeth Warren out there today. Couldn't wait to get a comment on about this. And she wants an immediate investigation. She wants an immediate investigation. Tough. There won't be any immediate investigation. The president can fire and hire anybody he wants. Chief Spreading Bull. The woman is nuts. She's nuts. Okay, we have Cory Booker. He has now introduced a bill, I think it's H.R. 40, for reparations for slavery. It's the slavery reparations bill. And what he wants to do here is he wants to set up a commission that would get together and study the issue and determine how much money should be paid as reparations, and how much should be paid and how it should be done and all this. This bill is going absolutely nowhere, just like Cory Booker. He's going nowhere either. He's going nowhere in the field of Democrat nominees. He's, I think, in last place right now. He's not raising very much money. I think Bernie Sanders has raised more money in a day than Cory Booker has raised in the entire time he's been running. This bill here will be laughed at, and it's a dangerous bill to vote for. I mean, if I were, of course, it's in the House, so they can't do it. But hey, maybe they'll get a Senate version of it, and McConnell can bring this up for a vote too in the Senate. We'll see how many Democrats vote present for this. I bet you all of them. No, none of them will vote for this because it's a this is the type of thing you vote for this, and you could probably find yourself out of office pretty quick. This is just not popular anywhere in the country. Anywhere. Not even in the most liberal states will you find this to be very popular. People are not going to go for that. This has been talked about before. Most people view it as a joke. Reparations for slavery. How ridiculous. Well, Judicial Watch has uncovered 422 pages of FBI documents that show evidence of cover-up discussions related to the Rotten Reverend Clinton's private email server with Platte River Networks. Some of these emails are emails between the Rotten Reverend Clinton's attorneys and Platte River. Some of these emails deal with the FBI and Platte River. So it's a pretty good range of emails, and I'm not going to go through every detail, but I did read through, and it's fairly damning. I'll hit some of the high points here, or low points if you like. So amongst the things that are shown in these 422 pages of FBI documents are that the Inspector General of the intelligence community, Charles McCullough's concern about classified information on the Rotten Reverend Clinton's private server. Yes, that's right. We have the emails now. Judicial Watch has the emails showing where McCullough did just as he said he did, where he alerted people, he went personally to people, he sent emails to people, and here we now have his communications, his emails showing that he did in fact make it very well known to his superiors and DOJ, the intel community, made it very clear to everyone that the Rotten Reverend's server was compromised by the Chinese and others. He found lots of classified emails, including those that were secret. And it's all right there in the emails. Judicial Watch has also obtained the Rotten Reverend Clinton's 2009 Classified Information Non-Disclosure Agreement, bearing her signature. Oh yeah, that's right. If you read through one of these non-disclosure agreements, particularly if you're a government employee, they're fairly restrictive and they're very matter-of-fact, and they state in there what the penalties are if you violate them. And she's signed on to this statement, and I'm sure if you compare the statement with what the statement says, the non-disclosure agreement, and you compare that to the things that you did, you'll find that she's very much in violation. Very much in violation. There are emails between the FBI and Platte River. Platte River is the company that was holding the Rotten Reverend Clinton's emails as backup. So they got the emails between FBI and Platte River where the term, quote, Hillary cover-up operation is used on at least 3 occasions. They're literally, I read through it, they're literally making jokes. One guy's actually, yeah, man, I'm working on the Hillary cover-up operation. I'll tell you about it at the party tonight. And they use the term Hillary cover-up operation at least 3 times in these emails. Some of these actually between the FBI and Platte River. What more do you need? What more do you need? Judicial Watch also has documents that show details of Platte River's use of BleachBit on the Rotten Reverend Clinton server system. While the emails were, of course, under subpoena. And, of course, they should have known that. They were communicating with the Rotten Reverend Clinton's lawyers. And I think they probably have been subpoenaed by then. But they went ahead and used BleachBit anyway. We can see the actual place where they downloaded it, where they got it, the date that they applied it. And it was like in March of, I guess, 2017 or 16. I'm not sure which year. But, these emails showed the exact way that they came about getting BleachBit, where they got it, when they used it, how they used it, and the whole 9 yards, while the emails were under subpoena. And they should have and probably did know at that time. Certainly Clinton's lawyers knew. Documents show that various Obama agencies were protecting the rotten Reverend Clinton from the consequences of her misconduct. There you go. Emails showing various government agencies protecting the rotten Reverend Clinton from the consequences of her misconduct. Yes, and we know from Charles McCullough, he was told, hey, dude, yeah, we know all about this stuff, man, but, if you want to have a job, because the rotten Reverend Clinton's probably going to be the next president, when she finds out you were doing this, you're out. So you might want to keep your mouth shut, just forget about it, let it all go. So that's exactly what McCullough was told. Forget about it, don't pursue it, the whole 9 yards, and of course, eventually he was gone. So, again, Judicial Watch doing a great job, and I'm sure that this stuff will find its way into some Republican committee members' hands. I'm sure they'll get copies of these documents. Judicial Watch usually forwards them right over to someone in the Congress who they have a decent relationship with. And my guess is they might find their way to the desk of William Barr, the Attorney General. Let's see what he does. Man, that guy's got a full plate right now. My goodness gracious, man. I wouldn't want to be William Barr right now. He's in a tough spot because there's so much overwhelming evidence of crimes and everybody knows it. He would probably just rather, like most people who are, career DOJ people like himself, deep staters, been in that business for a long time, he would probably rather just sweep all the stuff under the rug and move on. But I just don't think he's going to be able to do that. There's just way too much information out there in the public domain, way too much pressure coming from too many places, and at some point he's probably going to have to act. I don't think he necessarily wants to, but I think he's going to be forced to act at some point. You just can't ignore so much overwhelming evidence. At some point it just becomes ridiculous in the case of the rotten Reverend Clinton. I mean, absolutely, the amount of evidence. I mean, it's the arrogance of the rotten Reverend Clinton, the way that she would commit her crimes right in front of your face. Like, I'm going to commit a crime right in front of your face, and there's not a damn thing anybody's going to do about it. Because I'm the rotten Reverend Clinton. I'm above the law. I'm better than you. You try that. That's what you get. I mean, when you look at all this, the only thing that you can, this the only thing that you can deduce from the rotten Reverend Clinton. I mean, most people hide their crimes up pretty well. She doesn't even bother. She doesn't bother covering her poop ever. Leaves it right there for everyone to see. Unbelievable. The Attorney General needs to rein that in, man. Big time. Lock her up. Okay, now on to the John Solomon article from Sunday, which exposes even more corruption, gets us even deeper into this rabbit hole. The first time he spoke to this prosecutor, I guess many of you probably saw the interview. It was on the Hill TV. So John Solomon's interviewing this prosecutor, and from Ukraine, who's the country's top prosecutor, similar to our Attorney General. This interview, though, is with someone in that department, but not this specific prosecutor. It's with a person who's head of the legal cooperation department. So we'll go through some of these things, and it's just unbelievable what is being reported. There's also someone else on the Hill, another journalist on the Hill, has been writing stories the last couple of days trying to debunk John Solomon's reports with this prosecutor. So there's definitely something here, and I'm not sure why we're seeing these battling articles on the Hill from two different perspectives and who's behind all that. I mean, we understand John Solomon very well. He's just a hard-nosed reporter, good journalist who, does his work. It's kind of unusual, though, to see on the same exact site another journalist writing a competing article trying to debunk what someone else on the site is writing. I mean, that's something you think the editor over there at the Hill would, be looking at that and wondering, hey, wait a minute, I'm the editor. I'm the one that allowed this article. I gave it the thumbs up. But he's also given a thumbs up to another article debunking or trying to debunk John Solomon's story. And where is that coming from? Someone being put up to that, and who's telling the truth? You see, there's a lot of murky water here that needs to be cleared up and cleaned up. But we'll go through and see what John Solomon's reporting on at this point. So John Solomon gives us more on the Ukraine angle in the 2016 election and more. Solomon's interview this time is with the head of the prosecutor's legal cooperation department, and he was told that the U.S. ambassador has blocked their department from getting visas to the U.S. so they could come and discuss the issues that they are investigating, including the 2016 election interference and the Obama administration efforts to interfere in Ukrainian investigations of corruption, which do involve U.S. companies and citizens. Also, Ukrainian businessmen who have authorized payments for lobbying efforts, Mr. Podesta. Ukrainian businessmen authorizing payments for lobbying efforts directed at the U.S. government. The payments were made from funds that were acquired during the money laundering operation. A U.S. company tied to one or more prominent Democrats are involved in these payments, Mr. Podesta. Wow. Now, this is the first we've heard of this. So now, this is new. This wasn't in the first two reports from John Solomon. So now they're talking about lobbying efforts directed at the U.S. government from businesses in the Ukraine. There's money laundering involved. And the efforts to investigate this in coordination with the U.S. Ukrainian prosecutor's office are being blocked by the U.S. ambassador and possibly even people at the DOJ. Also, the U.S. government has pressured the NABU, which is the Ukraine version of the FBI. The U.S. government has pressured the NABU to hide the evidence that shows the illegal foreign payments to one or more of these Democrats, and to keep one of these documents, or one of these Democrats' names a secret. In other words, we have the U.S. ambassador pressuring this department of the Ukrainian government, the FBI, or whatever, these prosecutors, to hide evidence of foreign payments, and also to keep secret the names of a Democrat who would be involved or implicated. Man, you talk about corruption on an international level. The Obama administration, never has there ever been a more corrupt administration, man. Also, it continues. Solomon was given information on two Ukrainian officials who have signed sworn statements that their agency tried to influence the 2016 election in favor of the rotten Reverend Clinton. Solomon has learned that there were contacts between Democratic figures in Washington and Ukrainian officials that involved passing along dirt on Donald Trump. Yes, we knew that. He has learned about financial records that show a Ukrainian gas company routed more than $3 million to Joe Biden's son, Hunter. Records that show that Joe Biden and the Obama administration pressured Ukraine officials to fire the prosecutor that was investigating Hunter Biden's activities in Ukraine. Also, in question, and one of the major issues this prosecutor wants to discuss with the Department of Justice, is $7 billion in misappropriated funds out of Ukraine to the U.S. I mean, this is all exactly what they got Manafort for. This is exactly what they got Manafort. The exact same things. Misappropriated funds coming out of Ukraine to the United States, lobbying money that was paid to him, money that was laundered, that was paid to him. I mean, this is all the exact stuff that Manafort. But apparently there's a Democrat involved here. And I wonder if they're talking about the Podestas. That's just the first thing that would cross my mind. So Ukraine's top prosecutor, this guy Yuri Lutsenko, is telling John Solomon that he has enough evidence of these crimes to warrant a meeting with Attorney General William Barr. Lusenko says he is looking forward to a meeting with Barr to discuss these matters. Now, up until now, the U.S. Justice Department has shown no interest in cooperating with Ukraine officials to investigate these matters. And this is coming directly from these people that he was speaking to at this legal cooperation department in Ukraine. They're telling John Solomon, oh yeah, well, we were trying to get over there and discuss these issues, but your ambassador wouldn't approve the visas so that we could go over and do it. And then when we try to get this information into your Department of Justice, they're showing not a single lick of interest in investigating any of this. Yet they're all over Manafort with the special counsel. But they're not interested in any Democrats who are money laundering and doing any of these other things, illegal lobbying and all these other things. Not interested. Only interested in Manafort, people around Trump. People around Clinton, the Podestas, the Democrats. No, there won't be any investigations there. He's also telling John Solomon that the U.S. State Department, the U.S. Department of Justice, has given Ukraine a list of people who are untouchables. Literally going to the Ukrainians and saying, look, here's a list of criminals, including many who are Americans, probably Democrats. You're not allowed to do anything to these people. They are untouchable. Wow. Also, it appears that this Ukrainian ambassador, who we've talked about recently, has also given the prosecutors in Ukraine a do not prosecute list. Literally, a list of people. Do not prosecute these people. Man, you talk about corruption. This is just unbelievable. So, what's going on here with this woman, Marie Yovanovitch? Marie Yovanovitch. Now, she's the one who we learned a couple of weeks ago was making all sorts of negative and nasty comments about Trump and his administration. And then we find out that while Sessions was the Attorney General, he had learned about these things that she was saying, literally telling the Ukrainian government, oh, don't pay any attention to Trump or his policies because he's going to be impeached. So Sessions gets wind of this, and he literally writes a letter calling for her expulsion because of these statements that she made. But she doesn't get expelled. She's busy over there blocking investigations into Democrats. And even Trump, after that story came out a couple of weeks ago, even he said on a couple of tweets, hey, you know, she needs to be gone. I mean, it's like he's the President of the United States. He can't fire the ambassador. He can't pick up the phone and say, look, this woman making comments like this, fire her ass. Apparently not, because she's still there. Maria Yovanovitch is still there, blocking prosecutors from bringing information they have showing massive crimes that involve Democrats, and she's blocking it all. And someone in the Department of Justice isn't interested in hearing about this. But this prosecutor says that he's looking forward to meeting with Barr, and he has plenty of evidence that should get Barr's attention. And of course, Yovanovitch was appointed by Barack Hussein Obama in 2016. Unbelievable. How is that possible? How is that possible? That this woman is still in place. And that she can be blocking all this stuff. I mean, she should be arrested. She should be SWAT raided. She is telling a foreign government she's obstructing a serious legal matter of a foreign government. And it involves U.S. persons and U.S. companies. And she's literally blocking them from pursuing this investigation in coordination with the United States, which countries do all the time. It's exactly how they do it. Prosecutors in one country go to another. They go to another Justice Department in another country. Say, hey, we're investigating these crimes and they involve persons of your country. So we need a cooperation here to work on this together. But here we have this ambassador who's a hardcore anti-Trumper telling the Ukrainian government to ignore Trump because he's going to be impeached. Sessions wrote a letter a long time ago saying that she needs to be removed. Trump tweeted out she needs to be removed. She's still there. I'm speechless. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know how to even grapple with that one. I really don't. I mean, how'd that happen? Man, the swamp is something else, is it not? Alrighty, time for Dumbass of the Week. Let's go down the list. Well, it looks like we'll start with MCMM ADO. I don't know if that means something. McMM could do, McM McDo. I have no idea who you are, but I like you. I like your picks for Dumbass of the Week. Let's see. Here we go. If I can get my throat clear. There we go. Okay. Picks 1, 2, and 3. Christine Armapour, number 1. Joe Biden, number 2. And the Wild-Eyed Commie, AOC, number 3. Proven 88 is going with Biden first. His wife Jill, second. And, of course, the skateboarder, Bobby O. Let's see. This person, I'm sorry I did not write down your name, but I got your vote. It is for Ocasio-Cortez, and it has to do with that creepy, crazy Southern accent she tried to use in that speech. Boy, that was cringy. Not very good, and that never works out very well. Dennis Waddell, voting for Biden, Ocasio-Cortez, and Swallowwell. That's right, Eric Swallowwell. He looks like he's might going to do pretty good here. Let's see how it goes. Mrs. Miggins, she's going with my first pick, Christine Armapour, for giving us the opportunity to agree with Comey. For giving Mrs. Miggins, she's going with Christine Armapour for giving us the opportunity to agree with Comey. Yeah, that is bad. That's the last thing any of us wanted to do. I mean, when you have to get the TowerGate crowd to go along with Comey on something that you know you're dealing with a serious, you got a serious problem with someone, and it's Christine Armapour. Yeah, she wanted to asking Comey about shutting down people with the lock her up chant. I mean, what a crazy woman. And actually, she was just on a CNN panel. This has just happened in the last 24 hours. She was on a CNN panel where she was crying over the CNN fake news moniker. She's just really mad because, you know, people saying CNN is fake news. Because you are fake news. My God. Haven't you been watching? Leslie's going with Christopher No Shit Sherlock Ray. Very good choice. And Christine Armapour, number 2. Babs is going with Christopher No Shit Sherlock Ray, the current director of the Federal Bureau of I'm With Her. We have Dennis Shaw. He's going with No Shit Sherlock Christopher Ray, who's, of course, as he says, asleep at the wheel. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. This guy, Christopher Ray, is a perfect example of the deep state. I mean, he really is. All the stuff coming out about all the corruption and crime going on at the FBI, he sits there atop of this organization, seemingly completely, like Dennis says, asleep at the wheel. Just almost like he's oblivious. And that's because he is. Because in the bureaucracy known as the FBI and the Department of Justice, this is business as usual. I mean, it's just business as usual. So, it's a big bureaucracy. We have a lot going on here. Yeah, we do coup d'etats. Yeah, we do illegal counterintelligence operations on political candidates. Yeah, this all it happens. I mean, it's a swamp, you know. But you know, I'm at year 26. 3 more years, I get my pension, retire. Don't worry about it, folks. It's just what we do here. Yeah, I mean that's their attitude. I mean, they really don't care. Have no clue. Fred Shaw, he's going with the Wild-Eyed Commie, Ocasio-Cortez, and her and her hoodie thing, and her little video, which didn't go over very well, stuffing her face with food, going off and just gibberish. I mean, she's nuts. Let's see, and he had a second and third pick as well. He went with Biden, number 2, and Christine Armapour for number 3. Timothy, yes, that's right, Timothy checked in with Ocasio-Cortez and her drunken rants on ICE. Exactly. I mean, I think she was. Good point, Timothy. I actually think she was drunk. She was drinking some wine and stuffing her face with God knows what and just ranting. That's exactly what it was, a drunken rant, you know, and that's very well done, Timothy. Peter, he's going with the Bidens. Joe and Jill Biden. He's getting both of them in one snap for his first pick. AOC is his second pick. And Swallowwell is his third pick. Jonathan, he's going with Christine Armapour, AOC, and Creepy Joe. Then we have Mona Lisa. She's going with Creepy Joe. John R. is going with Christopher No Shit Sherlock Ray. We have Rocky, who says any Democrat wanting full release of the Mueller report, and Mueller asking Flynn if he knows of any crimes regarding Russia. Did he actually ask that? Are you kidding me? Mueller asked Flynn if he knows of any crimes regarding Russia? I would ask Uncle Bob right back. Do you know any crimes regarding Russia? I bet you do. And I bet you know about some that have nothing to do with Trump or me. Tell us about delivering that uranium sample on the tarmac, Bob. My goodness. Thanks, Rocky. Okay. Internet privacy advocate going with the DNC. There you go. Well, the DNC, of course, is one and the same with the Right Reverend Clinton. They're not separable. They're one and the same. The Right Reverend Clinton is the DNC. The DNC is the Right Reverend Clinton. So there you go. But yeah, the DNC, they are definitely dumbasses of the week. There's no question. They're trying to figure it out. They can't figure anything out. We have Maura, the lovely and talented Maura, checking in, and she's going with Jerry Nadler. Very, very good choice. Yes, indeed, Jerry Nadler. This guy is such a dumbass that he almost flies out over the radar. I mean, this guy's so dumb that he doesn't even hardly come up in the mix because he's so dumb you forget that he exists. But yeah, Jerry Nadler, he is going to make a fool of himself in the next few weeks. I'm telling you right now, because a lot of people are just going to diss him completely, and it's going to be funny to watch. So Maura, yes, Maura going with Nadler, and I guess she's picking AOC as a backup, as a second place choice. Well done, Maura. Patty Willing. Patty Willing is going with Joe Biden, Creepy Joe, AOC, and Swallowwell. Yes, 3 solid picks by Patty as usual. And she usually picks them, by the way. Most of the time, Patty's selections end up being pretty much the winners. Jeanette, but the Bidens, Ocasio-Cortez, and Obama she laid out something specific, but there's a lot of things in that German speech and a lot of things he said when he was in Germany over the weekend. So Obama gets a vote here for the first time today for his things going on. I think he gave like a 30-minute speech, and he said I or me like 390 times or something. Everything's about him until it comes time to prosecute people for the crimes, and then I think that he'll pretend he did. I didn't know nothing about it. I said do everything by the law, by the book. Read Susan Rice's CYA email. Yep, that's it. Let's see. Jim Vivito, Creepy Uncle Joe, Douglas went with Christine Armapour. Yes, lock her up. John Wan, Adam Schiff, who's still looking for some Russian collusion. Jack, he went with Biden, and Schiff. Well done, Jack. We have Jenny going with Biden and Christopher No Shit Sherlock Ray. Thank you, Jenny. Oregon, he's going to pull one right out of left field. He's going for Ecuador for selling out Julian Assange. Absolutely right. Haven't had no time to talk about that. But yeah, you're right. That's a shame what's going on with Assange. Ecuador appears to be selling him out. Certainly for about a week there. Definitely selling him out. Now they're starting to backtrack a little bit. But big protest, support protest actually for Assange in London on Sunday. So yeah, we're watching Assange very closely. I really hope that Trump doesn't do anything to Assange. He should free the man. Free the man. If I were Trump, I would give him complete immunity. I would give him complete 100% immunity and say, please come in and testify. Please come into Congress, open hearing, tell us everything. That's what we should do with Assange. Immunity, open testimony. God, I hope the president's watching. That's what you need to do, Mr. President. You do that and you'll win 2020 in a landslide. So, dumbasses of the week. The winner is, with 11 votes, Joe Bite Me. Joe Bite Me. The Creepy Joe takes first place with 11 votes. We have Ocasio-Cortez, the wild-eyed commie, pulling up in close in second place with 10 votes. And Christine Armapour, bringing up the rear with 8 votes, coming in 3rd place. So there you go. Biden, the wild-eyed commie, and Christine Armapour. That's our winners of Dumbass of the Week. Thank you so much for participating. Back tomorrow with more TowerGate. You guys have a good night. See ya. Bye.